Hello, everybody, and welcome to our new series where we are going to be talking about all of the news that has happened in the last week of Yu-Gi-Oh! This is going to be a weekly series. It'll hopefully be coming up every Tuesday, and in this series, I will be joined by my friend Salad. If you would like to introduce yourself.
Hello, I used to play the game quite a lot between the years of 2012 and 2018 and have been a very casual player ever since. So I don't read the news. I sometimes see things in our group chat, but besides that, I have no idea what's going on. So Jack's my guide for this series.
Yes, and that is the whole concept of this series, is that we're going to be talking about all the Yu-Gi-Oh! News that has come out. We're going to talk about new cards, and Salad's going to have absolutely no idea what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely no idea. Have never seen these cards before.
So what you see in front of you currently is the Duelist Nexus cards that have just come out this week, or came out last Thursday. We're going to talk about all of the interesting cards from that set. We're going to talk about the cards from the new Legendary Duelist set. We're going to talk about the new World's Ban list, and then we're going to look at a few post-Duelist Nexus decks that we found on Instagram. Just a couple.
Sounds good.
So ahead of us, we have the Duelist Nexus cards. We're going to jump straight into this. A little bit of a spoiler. Salad may have seen some of these cards because I forgot to hit the record button, but he didn't see all of them.
It's fine.
So.
We can get through June pretty quickly.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to start with Revolution Synchron. This card states that if you Synchro summon a Power Tool monster or a level 7 or 8 Dragon monster, this card in your hand can be used as material. Also, if you control a level 7 or higher Synchro monster while this card is in your graveyard, you can send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon this card, and it becomes a level 1. What do you think about that, Slad?
So my main thoughts are I'm very upset we've made Glow Up Ball but better, because we still have Glow Up Ball banned. And Synchrons probably still aren't good, but this card's probably splashable.
Yes, that is the main idea, that you use this card to make a level 7 Synchro, like Ancient Fairy Dragon if you're going first to do your combo plays, or Black Rose Dragon if you're going second to break your opponent's boards, and then you get to make a Crystal Wing afterwards, which allows you to get a Monster Negate on like your third or fourth summon, which is quite insane, really.
That's pretty good.
And yeah, if you're using something like the ABC cards, you can go like, Normal Summon B Buster Drake, Revolution Synchron for Black Rose Dragon, Chilling 1 Black Rose, Chilling 2 B to search, and your opponent's not negating it and they're losing their entire board.
Oh, that's kind of nuts, yeah.
It's a little bit nuts, and this card's definitely a candidate for being limited or banned at some point in the future, especially when you realise that tuning exists, which can search this card.
Add it to the broken tuners list.
Add it to the broken, yes, exactly. We have Wheel Synchron. This card isn't played in the traditional lists. This card says if this card you control is used as Synchro material, you can treat it as a non-tuner, which is relevant because Junk Speeder can special summon it, which allows you to special summon a non-tuner from your deck, which is what the deck has struggled with in the past, is getting non-tuners on board. It also says that during the main phase, you get an extra normal summon of a level 4 or lower monster, and you can banish it from the graveyard to reduce a card's levels by 4.
So this is a YouTube combo card that when I draw it, I'm going to be sad.
Yes, exactly. 100%.
Great.
I have no idea if Junk Speeder can summon from hand. I imagine it can't.
I've never read Junk Speeder. I like Junk Speeder says Pendulum summon from deck, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty good, and then I imperm it. So I don't know what it does, to be honest.
Yes, the deck definitely doesn't put up any negates before Junk Speeder now. Don't be scared.
Oh, deck, yeah, fine.
Yeah, deck doesn't summon.
Great, so let's say drawing that is awful.
Yeah, no, I can't see this card seeing much play. But the fact it is a non-tuner means that the pure builds can obviously play a little bit more without having to worry about opening up like Doppel Warrior.
Yeah, but
whatever the hell they play.
Synchron players will find a way. They always do.
They do. We've got some Rescue Ace cards. These cards are actually good. They are they've made the deck, which was a deck you maybe saw once at locals, to a deck which you should probably expect to see at major tournaments when the new season starts. So we'll start with Emergency. This card's always treated as a Rescue Ace cards. Special summon 1 Rescue Ace monster from your deck in defense position, and then tribute 1 Rescue Ace monster from your hand or field. So it's E-Telly, but it tributes a monster.
Okay, I mean, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, and during the main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard and target a Rescue Ace trap in your graveyard. Set it, which is
I mean,
it's strong.
It's a nice upside, but that's not the bit you like this for. You like this because it's Flundery's Advent.
Yes, exactly. And it of course makes, I can't remember the name of the actual monster, but one of the Rescue Race monsters just adds a spell, so it adds this,
Is
and
that
then you can use this to.
is that not Hydrant?
Hydrant
I know
adds a monster, I want to say.
Yeah, I don't know. They're all
Yeah.
fire engine cards. There's a fire in Lego City, you know.
Next, we have Rescue Race Preventer. You can banish a Rescue Race card from your graveyard, special summon this card from your hands. If you control another Rescue Race monster, quick effect, you can target an effect monster your opponent controls, change it to face down defense position. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished Rescue Race monsters, except a level 8 monster, special summon it.
I mean, this card's really cool because it's big, it kills people, and it summons more cards if you link it off. So, like, what's not to like?
Exactly. Like, this card is really, really good. Like, putting an actual, like, monster interruption in the deck that isn't just, oh, if you do something, I'm going to get some advantage. This actually being an interruption makes the engine feel a lot better as a whole.
I can't think, it's not circular levels are broken, but I also can't think of a deck that wouldn't appreciate this, so, you know.
No, nor can I. I think every deck would love this sort of card.
Yeah, so it's pretty good.
Yeah. We have Dark Corridor, which is the only part of Dark World support in this deck, in this set. And it has really simple text. Add one Dark World monster from your deck to your hands, then discard one card.
This looks really good, but it's once per turn, so like, it's going to brick in your hand. If you draw two, you're going to draw into another one, and then if you're really hoping for gas, kind of sucks. It's cool, but not, game-changing. Dark World aren't going to be the tier 1 meta threat that everyone wants them to be, so you're going to have to spend more than £40 on your meta decks.
Yeah, that's a fair point to make. I think I pretty much agree. I think this is probably like a 2 of, probably. I don't think it's a hard 3 of, but
yeah,
I've been wrong before.
I'd put 1 to 2 in my deck, but I don't know.
That's fair. We'll go on to the new TCG exclusive archetype, the Tistinas. There are 7 cards to talk about here. We'll go through them quickly. So we have Crystal God Tistina. This is the kind of focal point of the entire strategy. A lot of the cards require this card to be on board to actually do anything. And the effect goes as follows. During the main phase, you can change as many monsters your opponent controls as possible to face down defense position. Then you can send all face-up cards your opponent controls to the graveyard. If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can do the first effect again, essentially, and book everything and then send all the face-up cards.
Okay, this is an interesting boss monster that doesn't drop itself, so I really hope there's a way to summon it with a card effect.
Yeah.
If not, this deck is already dead. But the effect's kind of cool, but it's not a quick effect, so not really sure what we're doing here.
Awesome. So the next card is Demigod of Tistina. 2000 attack, 0 defense, level 10 Aqua Light. If you control a Tistina card, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can add 1 Tistina spell trap from your deck to your hands. And during your opponent's turn, if you control Crystal God Tistina, which is the first card we talked about, quick effect, you can change as many monsters your opponent controls as possible to face down defense position, and then you can send all face-up cards your opponent controls to the graveyard. So the same effect again.
But more powerful, because it's a quick effect. So the demigod is stronger than the god. Amazing.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Konami at it again, I guess.
Indeed. We have 2 normal summonable monsters. We have Hound of the Tistina, which says if this card is in your hand or graveyard and you control a light Tistina monster, you can special summon this card. You can only use this effect of Hound of the Tistina once per turn. Tistina monsters you control can attack directly while your opponent controls a face-down defense monster.
I do love Ghost Trick.
Okay, we'll get on to Sentinel of Tistina. If this card is in your hand or graveyard and you control a light Tistina monster, you can special summon this card. You can target 1 Tistina monster or 1 face down card you control, destroy it, and then you can add 1 Tistina card from your deck to the hand.
And these are all the monsters?
These are all, well, kind of. These are the 4 main deck monsters, at the very least.
Okay, but none of them want to be destroyed, so I don't get what this is popping. Unless the spell and traps want to be destroyed. So far, my review of this deck, the monsters don't do anything. For some reason, they're Aqua, not rocks, and the demigod is stronger than the god. So, design 10 out of 10. Konami, really good.
Yeah, this very much smells of second wave support. They'll be good, sort of thing, doesn't it?
It's going to need a really good second wave.
Maybe third wave then. We'll go on to the spells and traps. We'll start with the field spell. This is Divine Domain Bastina, so it does have Bastina in the name.
Oh, it's a hidden
During
one.
your main phase, yeah, it's a hidden one. During your main phase, you can send one Bastina monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then, if your opponent controls 3 or more face-up cards, you can special summon one Crystal God Bastina from your hand or deck. You can only use this effect of the field spell once per turn. And if this card in the field zone is destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you can special summon one Tastina monster from your deck or graveyard.
Okay, so this card wants us to go second to summon the boss, which also makes sense because then the boss clears the board with its not quick effect. So that kind of, I mean, there's some design there. This card also, if it gets blown up, you just get the God of Tastina as well. So this card says, I'm going to summon the god, what are you going to do about it? But then what?
Well, I'm going to tell you what they're going to do about it. This card says, if this card in your field zone is destroyed by your opponent's card effect. So if you negate the activation, this card does not trigger.
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. Great. So,
which is interesting to put on this card.
Yeah.
It feels like this text is here for if this effect is negated, but if it's negated, it doesn't trigger.
Yeah. It specifically stops MST. Like,
yes.
Interesting. Not good, but interesting.
Yes, exactly. This very much feels like the Manadium field spell, which for some reason boosts your monsters past the 1500 attack, 2100 defense range if you have the field spell up, which means you can't drop the balls.
I will be honest, I played Manadium on Duelist Book and Cheese a lot, and it took about 5 games for anyone to realise.
We'll go on to the continuous spell.
Unintentionally, Konami, in case you're listening.
During your main phase, you can normal summon one Tastina monster in addition to your normal summon or set. You can only use this effect once per turn. You can target one face-up monster you control, or if you control a light Tastina monster, you can target one face-up monster on the field instead. Change that monster to face-down defense position, then add one Tastina card from your deck to your hand.
Okay, so this is the first card I've read that I'm like, this is actually really good. So it either forces a negate by targeting a monster to flip face down, or you get the search, which is kind of cool, and you get 2 normal summons, but your normal summons don't do anything. So if any card's going to save the archetype, it's this, but it needs some good monsters.
Yes, I think that's a very fair point to make. I would say that this deck does seem like if it does get some semblance of a win condition, it will probably be very consistent, since we have 3 different cards that search and 1 that Foolish Burials. Because Demigod can search all the spells, Destina can search the whole archetype, this can search the whole archetype, and this can send to the Sentinel, which can summon itself to search the entire archetype.
I mean, it does seem consistent, but there's no payoff right now.
Yeah, there's like literally none. Well, we have this trap card, which may be the worst card in the set, but also the funniest.
Incredible.
So this card says, activate this card by targeting one face-up monster on the field. Special summon this card as an effect monster. Aqua Light, level 10, 0 attack, 0 defense. With the following effect. This card is also still a trap. During your opponent's turn, when that target leaves the field, destroy this card. During your opponent's turn, when this card leaves the field, destroy that target.
Okay, so like, if you take out during your opponent's turn, this card's kind of cool because you summon a monster, you link it off, and their card's gone. But that's not how this works. So
yeah, no.
Free material for Gustav Max for game. I don't know.
Well, I think the idea of this is that during your opponent's turn, you activate this, you target one of their monsters, and if they beat over it in battle, they lose that monster as a way of not dying because they know you're not putting up any interactions. Yeah. Potentially.
Yeah, this doesn't seem good.
Yeah, but the funniest part of this comes from this here. The fact it's an Aqua Light level 10 with 0 attack and 0 defense. This means you can summon a certain monster, which I can't imagine they're intending, but the Egyptian god Slime.
Right.
This card says, must first either be fusion summoned or special summoned from your extra deck by tributing one level 10 Aqua monster with 0 attack.
Right, so I can tribute the trap and get what?
Well, this card says this card can be treated as 1 or 3 tributes for the tribute summon of a monster, not 2. It cannot be destroyed by battle. Your opponent's monsters cannot target for attacks or with card effects, cards you control, except for Egyptian god Slime.
So that's the only relevant effect, is it stops imperm on the little guys, I guess. But
Yeah, I just find it very funny that they've created this trap card which can summon this when they 100% did not intend for it to be the case.
yeah, I don't think Konami were like, oh, well, if we let them summon Egyptian God Slime, this deck might be playable.
Yeah, because currently we have Metal Reflex Lime is the only card that summons this, right?
Yeah, that's the name of that card. I know that one.
Yeah, something like that. Very funny that you can do this, but yeah, this archetype very very mid right now.
Yeah, like extremely mid, but interesting concept of sort of Daruma Cannon the deck. I'm interested to see if it can become playable. Maybe if they print a spell that's like your Crystal God is a quick effect. I don't know if we've ever seen cards like that, but that'd be kind of cool.
Orchestrated Babel, the field spell.
Yeah, something like a Babel, but like not a field.
Yeah, not a field spell because it needs field spell to stay up because it's the only good card. Wow.
Yeah, the spells are good, the monsters are mid, and the trap is awful, so a long way to go, but I guess maybe playable.
At some point. The next cards, we're going to be shaking up the formula a little bit because I don't know what these cards do, but Slad does. So why don't you talk me through these new Numerella cards?
Now, this is one of the decks I do play, so I like this deck a lot. It's really fun. Not good, it's a locals deck at best. But these cards actually are really strong. The first one, Dreaming Reality Realized, gains 100 for every face down card in your extra deck, so it starts really big, and as the game goes on it gets small because you are trying to empty your extra deck, which is kind of weird design, but I don't know. It gives a fun balancing act, I guess. The good parts of this card are if it's in your hand, you can target monster you control, place it on the bottom, and if you do summon this card, so kind of an extender for level 10s maybe one day. It's not just generic, so we could see this being played in other decks. And then it activates one of these effects. It either adds a Dreaming Nemorelia to the extra deck, which is great because we need more ways for that card to be in the extra deck because it's important. Or you can book a Moon a card, so it's like a really bad Fairy Tale Snow. But, you know, Book a Moon's pretty cool. Nice effects. The one thing to note on this card, it's a fairy, not a beast, so it's not searchable in the archetype very easily. But, you know, it's not bad, it's not great. Play 1, play 2, don't play 3.
I think it's quite funny. This is getting to my head. You can target a monster you control, place it on the bottom of the deck. This triggers Perilino if you send a Tyrannoman monster back, which is quite funny.
That is funny. I've never played this deck with Tyr. I don't think it would work, but it would be funny.
Cool. The next card is Dream Devourer.
Dream Devourer Reveal is really good. It actually makes... We'll talk about the net card to the right first because it kind of makes it live. Okay. This is a draw 2 for the deck, basically. Draw 2 for any level 10 deck, but we're talking about it in context of Nemorelia. This card's trade-in. We've all said trade-in, but it's a different level. What makes it good in this deck is this card, if it's in your hand or graveyard, you can banish 3 from your extra face down, especially summon this card. So great, I get to trade it in and then summon it back. Free 2500 beta. If I do that, I can't summon from the extra deck that turn, which is kind of annoying, but I can summon Pendulum monsters, so I still get the little girl out. You can send one other level 10 beast monster from your hand or face up field to the graveyard and set a trap directly from the deck. The current access of trap is a special from deck, and you can banish it from graveyard to make something smaller, so it's like okay. It gets better in the next set, but we'll talk about the trap that's in the next set in a few weeks probably. But
we'll wait for then to talk about this trap.
But it is a good card and sort of gives you a more control style rather than the current put out big level 10s and hope it's enough to kill / make Zeus. Yeah, I mean it's a fun OTK deck. You can play a budget. Prosperity is nice but not essential. Fun for locals, and every card's like a super at max.
Awesome. I probably will end up picking up this deck because I do love a cheap deck core, and the designs in these cards are quite cool.
Yeah, I mean the whole like gameplay loop of the archetype is like the little girl goes to bed, then she has her nightmares, which are all these big monsters. Then she wakes up when she falls off the mattress, which is the extra deck, banishes the entire field, and then goes back to sleep, which is kind of cool.
Really, really cute. Why is she scared of ice cream?
I think the law's kind of like this is what she's like eaten throughout the day. Like she has a lot of ice cream and now she's having like weird nightmares. Like I think that one's a cake as well. Don't really know what that's clearly an ice cream. I really don't know what the far left one is on the second row.
That's chocolate, right?
Yeah, but is it like a chocolate cake or is it just a bar? I don't know. But I think basically she's had too much sugar and now it's having nightmares, and that's the deck.
That's really cute, and I actually quite like that a lot. Right, back over to me to talk about cards. We're going to be talking about the Unchained cards. So
They're still making these.
they are still making these, and these ones are actually quite good. We have 3 cards for the Unchained archetype to talk about. So we will start with. I've called this card red, this card blue, and this card Yama because it's easy. This is called Unchained Soul of Sharvara.
Okay.
It's a level 6 Fiend Fire with 2000 attack, 1500 defense. During the main phase, if this card is in your hand, quick effect, you can target a Fiend monster or a face down card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon this card. But while it is face up in the monster zone, you cannot special summon monsters except Fiend monsters. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can set one Unchained spell trap directly from your deck. So, first impressions there, Slad.
This seems really good. Like, really good. You can... Like, Unchained love to pop cards. And this pops to summon itself, which is like an extender because they all summon from deck. I can't summon anything except Fiends, but I think that's already a lock in the deck, so it doesn't really matter. And then if I link this off, I get to set a trap, which I can then pop with something else and then keep going. Like, this card seems insane.
This card does read quite insanely, and this deck has actually been seeing some playability at like OTS championships and like local tournaments that have been going around recently. Like there's like 3 different Unchained players on my locals specifically.
I can see why. Like, it's a cheap sort of fan favorite deck, and this card really pushes the boat on what you're allowed to print, like for a deck like that, I feel.
Yeah. We have Unchained Soul of Shima, which is the blue version of this card. This card says you can target one card you control, destroy it, then you can destroy one spell or trap on the field. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one Fiend monster or one face down card you control, destroy it, and if you do special summon this card but place it on the bottom of the deck when it leaves the field, you can only use each effect of Unchained Soul of Shima once per turn.
Okay, so this card's definitely worse, but it's not a lot worse. Like, it's a extender. If you summon it, like, you can use it as 2 bodies for link climbing, which this deck loves to do, and it gets rid of floodgates, which is really nice too.
Yep. So this card again just pops things, special summons itself.
Yeah, I mean it's good. It has a home in the deck. It's very easily accessible because it's called Unchained. Like, good card.
Yeah. And these are both level 6s, and they're both Fiends. Can you think of something you could make with that?
I mean, there's Beatrice. Like,
I was mostly thinking about a card from another deck you've played quite a bit of.
Which is the DD, like,
if I can
yeah,
the Wave Hiking Caesar.
This is good because it's like Nibiru insurance. That's kind of cool. I forgot what the materials on this guy were.
Yep, just 2 level 6 Fiend monsters, and it is a soft once per turn, negate the activation of a spell trap or monster effect. That includes the effect of special summons a monster.
Oh, that's cool. That's a nice add to the archetype.
Yes, 100%. So most boards are now ending on this, plus like Soul of Rage, which is the one that quick links off your opponent's cards.
Okay. I mean,
which is a pretty solid board.
It's a decent end board, and they normally have traps as well. So
yes,
got the big dog in hand, you know.
Always got the big dog in hand. We have a Link monster, Unchained Soul, Lord of Yama. This card's really good. If this card is special summoned, you can add one Unchained monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Okay. If a card you control is destroyed by battle or card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card and special summon one Fiend monster from your hand or graveyard. Then you can destroy one card you control.
This card is nuts. This card probably didn't need to be printed, to be honest, but this card is insane. It's like a Link 2 that's proactive for the deck rather than reactive. Which
I think it's both proactive and reactive.
Yeah.
The fact that you just special.
No, that's true. But the one before is like you make it and you wait for your opponent to summon something and then you climb. So this lets you build probably pretty cool boards. I'm not Distant Coder, so I'll let him work out how to do that. But yeah, this card's really good. Great legacy support. Probably not meta relevant too much, but strong rogue, I guess. Like this.
Yeah, I think that's a fair place for this deck to be placed currently.
Unless you're about to show me another nut spell or trap.
No, those are the only 3 Unchained cards in the set, I believe. At least these are the only ones I put into this deck list when I was combing through Duelist Nexus for interesting cards to talk about.
Right, well.
What we do have, though, is some Altergeist cards to talk about.
Oh, there's not more of these.
Yeah, well, I did do a video on Altergeist months ago now, but we can talk about these rather quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 4 cards, 2 main deck monsters, a trap, and a link 4. We have Altergeist Malwisp, which is a light level 3 spellcaster tuner monster with 1500 attack and 0 defense. This card's really strong. So this card says, if this card is added to your hand, except by drawing it, you can special summon it. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can target an Altergeist monster in your graveyard, except for another copy of itself, special summon it in defense position, but for the rest of the turn, it cannot activate its effects.
Okay, so my first thought is, why is Altergeist not a combo deck? But my second thought is, this is really good. You can get it off whichever of Protocol and the other one it is that you get to shuffle back and add.
Spoofing.
So, yep. So you can get it off spoofing, and then it is a really good link extender. And the Altergeist links are actually pretty strong. Like, the double Hex Jury Decay is real.
Yeah, so this card is exceptionally easy to add to hand. There's a myriad of ways of doing it in Altergeist. So you said spoofing. You can add this off Miloseek. You can add this off Hextia. This triggers if you bounce it with Silquitius to bounce one of your opponent's cards.
Okay, this card's really good.
Yeah, this card's really good. Like, you just get to keep just summoning back things just to make your Hexias a lot easier. The fact it's a tuner means the deck now has access to Herald of the Arclight using a Miloseek.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is kind of cool, being able to actually put up a formidable monster negation or omni negation.
So, turn 1, I can summon Miloseek, link it into Linkuriboh, add this, special back the Miloseek, make Herald set 4.
Yes.
Well, set 3, because hopefully I have a multi-figure in hand because I'm good at the game. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, you could do those sort of lines. I think it's like Miloseek plus Pukari, which is the one that... It's Revolution Synchron for Altergeist.
Okay.
That ends now on the Link 4 we're going to talk about in a second, 3 setback row and multi-faker in hand and a Hextia. So
okay.
This deck can now combo off, which is quite cool.
That is interesting.
The next card to talk about is Altergeist Perirator. I've heard a lot of people call this Evil Miloseek because it's a very similar card. It is a level 1 fire with 500 attack, 300 defense. This card can attack directly like Miloseek. You can only use each of the following effects of Perirator once per turn. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponents, you can draw 1 card. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can send 1 Altergeist card from your hand, deck, or face-up field to the graveyard.
This is everything Miloseek does, but reversed. I see why it's Evil Miloseek. Yeah, I mean, this card's really cool. Probably worse than Miloseek, especially with the new sort of routes that Miloseek gives, but definitely not bad.
Yeah, I think this card's definitely a one-of in the deck if you're playing it at all. I quite like it because the send is actually now relevant because of the next card we're going to talk about, which is Altergeist Revitalization, which is a trap. It says target 1 Altergeist Link monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon 1 Altergeist monster, and you only use 1 effect per turn.
Okay, good card. Reborn, normal summon, searchable. Yeah, solid card.
Yeah, so the idea is you can send this off of the Perirator, which allows you to use the Revitalization to normal summon a Marionetta after you've already committed your normal to Miloseek to start your combos, which means you can access the combo part of your deck and the trap part of your deck in the same turn.
Nice. I mean, yeah, it's pretty strong.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Link 4 now. This is Altergeist Adabina. This card's really good. So 2+ Altergeist monsters, 3000 attack. If this card is a Link summons, you can set 1 Altergeist trap directly from your deck.
Okay,
that's
off to a very good start.
Good. Yeah. Once while this card is face up in the field, during the main phase, quick effect, you can send 1 card you control to the graveyard, then target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, take control of that target, and if you do, it is treated as an Altergeist monster.
Oh. Also very good. It's not Altergeist you can link into Hextia. This card makes OTKing even easier.
Yes.
I find it weird that Altergeist is now a combo deck. And I think probably a lot of Altergeist players feel like that as well. But I mean, it's very strong. It's just very different from the old identity of the deck. So a bit interested by the design choice, but it's really good. So maybe we'll see this if there's a big format nuke. Like, this seems like one of the best of the rest decks.
Yeah, I think this is probably on like a same sort of level as Unchained. At the minute. But the fact that this sets a trap from a deck, and it also is Snatch Steal, and treats it as an Autogeist card, so you can use it as the link material for your other monsters like Hextia, as well as being able to tribute that monster off for something like Protocol, is really cool.
It's cool.
Okay, I'm going to admit, these next 6 cards I haven't actually read yet, but I was told by the rest of the group that I had to include them because apparently they're good.
Oh, good. Now we've both got to read them.
Yeah, exactly. So this is Inflowable Arms Owl Mace. These are all Inflowable cards.
Okay.
This card says, while this card is equipped to a monster, you can equip one Inflowable Arm equipped spell from your deck or graveyard, except another copy of himself, to one appropriate monster you control, then destroy this card. If this card is sent to the graveyard because the equipped monster is sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your Fire Warrior monsters that is banished or in your graveyard, add it to your hand.
Okay, so we got the Searcher for the Searcher.
Yeah, this gets Durandal, which I think is the main point of this.
Yeah.
That's what most people think. What I've just clocked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I need to reread this text to make sure I'm not cheating.
Yeah, if you link off the monster or synchro the monster, you get the other effect.
No, that's not what I'm thinking. This card triggers Inzektor Dragonfly, right?
So does Durandal.
And Durandal also triggers. So we can like go Owlmace, equip Durandal to Dragonfly. Owlmace pops itself. Dragonfly summon Centipede. Durandal again. Search the monster. Dragonfly summon another Centipede, and we're off to the races.
I think
that's clearly why this card is good.
You need to stop Inzektors. They move on.
I didn't get to play in proper Inzektor format, so. The next card is a field spell. Noble Arms Museum. All Fire Warrior monsters you control gain 500 attack. Once per turn, you can pay 1200 life points, add one Noble Arms card from your deck to your hand, except for another copy of himself. And once per turn, if the previous effect was applied this turn, you can target one Noble Knight monster card in your spell and trap zone, special summon it. Also, if you activated this effect while you did not control Inflowable Knight Emperor Charles, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except warrior monsters.
Okay, so for 1, we got the Searcher for the Searcher for the Searcher.
Yes, I that's probably what this card is supposed to do.
But then also, I don't know what any of that means. How do they get to spell the trap zone? What is a Charles? Like, what's going on?
I haven't got a clue, mate. I've never played Inflowable. Hopefully we'll get there with the rest of these cards. So we have Inflowable Knight's Turpin. While this card is an equip card, the equipped monster can be treated as a tuner. If used as a synchro material, you can only use each of the following effects of Turpin once per turn. If you control a monster equipped with an equipped card, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. But if you summon it from the graveyard, banish it when it leaves the field. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one warrior monster you control. Equip this card to that monster you control as an equipped spell.
Ah, this is the one that goes to spell and trap. Okay. This is a card, certainly. So it summons itself. That's cool. Yeah, that summon a level 4 that drops itself and has other words on it that aren't.
Yeah, so this card drops itself, and then you link it off, and then you can equip it to another monster, and then use the field spell to summon it. Is that what we're supposed to be doing here? I think.
Yeah, and whatever it's equipped to is also a tuner, which might be relevant.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We have Inflowable Knight Ricardetto. Sure. You can banish this card from your hand or graveyard, special summon a level 4 or lower Fire Warrior monster from your hand as a tuner. That's quite cool, I guess.
I mean, that seems very good.
Yeah, it's just a free extender.
Yeah.
If this card is normal or special summons, you can target a level 4 or lower Fire Warrior monster in your graveyard, except for another copy of himself, special summon it. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except for warrior monsters.
And only one of those who. Okay, this card does anything you ever wanted to do.
Yeah, so this is... Okay, so you can banish it to special summon one from hands, and if you summon it, you get to summon one from graveyard. That seems really good.
But only one or the other, but still really nuts.
You can only use one effect. Oh, sure. I completely missed that.
I mean,
okay, cool.
It's an extender either from hand or from grave.
Yeah, that seems really good. It's a level 1 tuner, which I imagine is going to be relevant for this.
Okay, yeah. This is certainly a card.
Yeah, this is Angelica, Princess of Noble Arms, which is a level 5 Fire Warrior Synchro. If this card is special summoned, you can add one Horn of Oliphant or one card that mentions Inflowable Knight Emperor Charles from your deck to your hands. When a card or effect is activated that targets this card on the field, or when this card is targeted for an attack, quick effect, you can send one Fire Warrior monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, banish this card. Then you can special summon one Roland monster from your deck or extra deck.
They're really putting words on these cards.
Yeah, literally like Horn of Oliphant.
What is a Horn of Oliphant? Like, what is that?
I haven't got a clue.
Because your next card is a monster. Oh, that's a trap card.
Okay. So, banish an equipped spell you control in your graveyard, destroy one card in the field, destroy a Roland monster you control, then special summon up to 3. Okay.
Okay, so this is...
I'm not seeing Noble Arms on this, or like Noble Knight. I imagine like Roland is another word for it.
Roland is one of the synchros, I think. I'm going to ignore the second half of this card, and it's a bad Sword Soul Blackout.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
So you can search Blackout. Cool. And
Cool.
then this card has other things that I'm going to choose to assume don't matter.
Yeah, definitely not. I'll get somebody else on the channel to go over Noble Arms cards at some point, I'm sure. We have like 4 people who play it, so... this is... Right. I know what this card is.
Right.
Because it has the weirdest summoning condition I've ever seen.
Okay.
This is Emperor Charles the Great, which I think has been referenced in a few other cards we have read earlier.
We've been talking about Charles, yeah.
Yeah, summoning requirements for this card is 1 level 9 Inflowable Knight Emperor Charles equipped with an equip card.
Okay, so I've never seen more specific materials.
Yeah, literally. So you're using the level 9 Synchro in the deck, equipped with an equip card, to summon this card. And this card says, if this card is link summoned, you can target Inflowable Knight Emperor Charles in your graveyard. This card name becomes that target's original name, and it gains that target's original effects. Then equip that target to this card as an equip spell that gives it 500 attack. So you link off your Synchro, you summon this, and this card basically becomes the Synchro, but 500 bigger.
Right.
And then it has the effect that once per turn, when a spell trap card or effect is activated, you can send an equipped spell from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard and negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card.
This might be the weirdest card I've ever read.
Yeah, so what this feels like is they went, Emperor Charles isn't strong enough, so we'll just give him a new effect where he can negate something.
And we'll make him 500 bigger, and that'll do it.
That'll make him a Link 1.
Yeah, okay, interesting.
Yeah. I guess what's relevant about this is you get to equip the Inflowable Knight Emperor Charles to this card, so you can summon it with the field spell, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
So you end up with 2 of this card, which I'm guessing is what the deck's probably trying to do.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know, though.
It's a spell or trap negate, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, we'll go over cards I actually know now. So, new Runic cards.
Oh, yay. Oh, joy.
This is a horse. So this is Sleep Near the Runic Mane. It is a level 9 beast, 1500 attack, 1500 defense. Obviously, you can summon this off all the Runic quick play spells. And it says during your main phase or your opponent's battle phase, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, banish both that monster and this card until the end phase, which I think is the relevant effect.
Alright, I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of okay. It's actual removal, which I was about to say the Runic doesn't have.
That is all they have.
That's all they have. But this actually does it in a monster, which I guess is quite cool. If a card is added from the main deck to your opponent's hand, except during the damage step, you can special summon one Runic token in attack position with 1500 attack and 1500 defense.
Interesting.
I don't know why. You don't have a battle phase anyway.
Yeah.
Why do we need bodies?
What am I going
Especially if we're summoning in attack position.
What am I going to do? Link summon?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not even a level 2, so we're not doing sprite plays with this either.
Interesting. This is not good.
Yeah, I guess because it's a level 9, you can make Baron in like the Synchro Runic builds, which is
I guess
kind
so.
of cool, I guess. Maybe. I don't know.
Runics
did we talk about the Crimson Dragon?
No, not in this
No.
recording.
We were supposed to talk about this with the Revolution Synchron and the Wheel Synchron. So this is the cover card of the set, I want to say.
Probably.
And it has the card text that if this card is special summoned, it gets to add a spell trap that mentions Crimson Dragon from your deck to your hands. There's 2 of them in the set, but they're not very good, so we're not going to talk about them. The main effect this card has is the quick effect. You can target a level 7 or higher Synchro monster on the field, except for Crimson Dragon. Return this card to the extra deck, and if you do, special summon one Dragon Synchro monster from your extra deck with the same level as the targeted monster, and this is treated as a Synchro summon.
Okay, so
Thoughts?
I can tag it out for a level I already control. Can you pull up Borderlord Savage?
Can I pull up Savage Dragon?
Sure. Yeah. If this card is Synchro, yeah, okay, this card's good.
Yes, but what this card actually does is something a lot worse. So the idea is that you summon this card alongside another level 12 Synchro monster, and you go Crimson Dragon, target that level 12, so you can summon Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity.
It's Azathoth. It's always Azathoth. Every deck is Azathoth.
Yeah, this card has allowed for 3 other decks this format just to become Azathoth Turbo. This card needs to be banned and needs to be banned soon.
Yeah, I can't do more formats if you can't play.
Yeah, can you remember the Phantom Knights Azathoth format? That was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was one of my favourites. Do you remember Lunar Light?
Oh yeah, that was a fun one as well. Didn't Dark World also make Azathoth at one point when they were doing their FTK combo?
Yep, yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Good card design, and I'm glad we keep making cards that say the same thing.
Well, this card's been out for a while, but
but
we need to do like the OCG has done with like the cannon soldiers and
just ban them all. Yep.
Yes. Next card is Visas Amritara. This card is a light level 8 warrior tuner synchro monster with 2500 attack and 2100 defense. It requires a light non-tuner monster. Well, it doesn't actually specify non-tuner here. It says 1 tuner plus 1 light monster.
Okay, you can make that with 2 tuners.
You can make this with 2 tuners, which is a little bit weird. This card's name becomes Visa Starfrost while on the field. That's relevant for a lot of cards.
Yep.
You can only use each of the following effects of this card once per turn. If this card is Synchro summoned, you can add 1 spell or trap that mentions Visa Starfrost from your deck to your hand. And during the main phase, you can destroy 1 monster you control. Also, all Synchro monsters you control will gain 800 attack this turn.
This seems like Minion support, but not in Archetype. This card's really good, no?
This card's insane. Yeah, a little bit. The fact that it adds a spell trap that mentions Visa Starfrost means it searches for all of the field spells for every different archetype.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Terralabant has started to play this card with the Revolution Synchron. Since this card is a level 8 Synchro monster, you can turn any level 4 monster into Ancient Fairy Dragon, summon back the Revolution Synchron to make this guy, and just search Paralido and just start playing.
So it turns out Revolution Synchron is better than I thought.
Yes, Revolution Synchron is ridiculous, and it allows you to make this card, which is quite funny. Because, of course, Ancient Fairy Dragon is a light monster, which means it fulfills the condition.
Oh, it is as well.
Yes, I've always thought Ancient Fairy Dragon was a wind for some reason, but no, it's a light.
It definitely looks like a wind. It's got big green wings.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, this card's really insane. There's a bunch of other cards that just mention Visa Starfrost, like Terralabant Scream.
Doesn't the Scareclaw revival card mention it?
Yes, that mentions it as well. Literally everything that's come out in like this
last year
lore. Yeah, literally. And because this card is also called Visa Starfrost whilst on the field, you could just link this away for the Scareclaw Link 1.
Oh, that's funny.
To search for that field spell as well.
That is funny.
Yeah. Back onto a bunch of cards that I don't know. By a bunch, I mean 1. Here's Pearly Noir. Do you know anything of the Pearly card styles?
They make really big. You put a lot of cards underneath them, and it looks funny.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I know as well. But apparently, this card is going to make Pearly one of the best decks of the format.
Okay.
I don't believe it.
Didn't we already ban a card? So it's like that doesn't happen.
We put Delicious to 1, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. This card says once per turn you can discard 1 card and target 1 card your opponent controls, or up to 2 if this card has Pearly Sleepy Memory as material. Return that card to the hands. That is not a quick effect. That's an ignition effect, which I guess is cool. Discard 1, bounce 2. Seems pretty alright. Up to thrice per turn, when you activate a Pearly Quick Play spell card, quick effect, you can attach that card on the field to this card as material. Then you can set 1 Pearly Trap directly from your deck.
Okay. I mean, seems fine.
Yeah, so this gets the X-Pearly, is it called? Oh, Pearly Leap. Which says target a Pearly XE monster you control, special summon from your extra deck one Pearly XE monster with a different rank by using that target as material, but return it to the extra deck during the end phase of the next turn.
Oh, so we can set that. We can make the big Noir.
Yes, so this just goes and searches the trap to go into Big Noir, as well as just being like a compulse for 2 cards.
Okay, I mean that's pretty good.
Pretty good. I don't think it's good enough to make the deck tier 0 or anything, but a bunch of people seem to think that it does. So, before we mention it here,
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll go on to the LED 10.
I have a request.
Yes,
We do this next week.
we do this next week.
Yeah.
Sure. Do you want to quickly go over the post-Dune lists?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's see what's relevant this week. Oh look,
So his
Pearly.
This list is playing the E-Pearly Noir. It's a little bit pixelated, but you can see the cards that are being played. This is this cunt, Crystal Blanc.
Oh, this guy. Oh.
Playing Pearly cards.
Yeah, the comments on the side say it for me.
Yes, it does. But this looks like a pretty standard list. It's playing 11 hand traps, 3 Book of Moons. It's literally the exact same list, but it's playing E-Pearly Noir.
This looks really boring. It just looks so dull. Like,
yeah, it does a little bit.
It's like, it reminds me of Sky Striker.
Yeah, this is Ray. This is Rose.
Not a single card in this interests me, actually. 2 Prosperity is weird. I guess the 3rd Book of Moon's better. Sure. I mean, there's just nothing to say about this deck. It looks like it's so standard. There's nothing interesting, and it came second, so it can't even win whatever the remote duels. So
yeah, no, that makes sense. We have one for Generator. This is playing Revolution Synchron. This is Invoked Generator Synchron.
now, finally, something that's cool.
Yes, exactly. So the idea of this deck is you want to start out with Magical Meltdown and Revolution Synchron, which is of course why we're playing 2 Magical Meltdown, because we really want to see it.
Yeah.
And if you start with that, you get to go Magical Meltdown, search Alistair, normal summon Alistair, search Invocation, Revolution Synchron into Ancient Fairy Dragon. You get an Ancient Fairy Dragon, pop the Meltdown to search for boss stage, summon back your Revolution Synchron to go into a Crystal Wing Dragon, activate boss stage, activate Invocation, banishing your Alistair and your Ancient Fairy Dragon, and you end on boss stage, Crystal Wing, Mechaba.
I mean, that's really cool. Like, this deck is just cool. I don't actually know what this new Generator boss does. And I can't read it because there's 4 pixels on my screen. But
which one are we talking about?
This one that's highlighted, the big one, Valor.
Valor's been out for a while, I want to say.
So
I could be incorrect.
It's not first wave.
No, I think this came out with the new XZs, which was the set before DUNE,
okay.
I want to say.
Yeah.
This card, basically, when it's special summoned, you get to special summon a Generator from hand or graveyard.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, so it's quite cool.
So, like, we end on what? Crystal Wing, Mechaba plus Harg, so that's 3 negates?
Yeah, and also, funnily enough, Mechaba's a level 9, which means you can use Wild Legacy Monstrosity, which is this card here, to summon 2 level 9s with different types and attributes, I think, from your deck. So you can summon, like, Ha and the Banishing one as well, which then allows you to go into the XZ monster, and then your boss stage is going to trigger to summon probably the Vala to summon back the Ha as well.
Okay, this deck's really cool. Really interesting that we can do this now. Proves that Revolution Synchron is not fair. Other comments. The side deck is weird. That's a lot of 2-ofs.
There is a lot of 2-ofs. I'm wondering if it's probably just a siding pattern thing.
Like, you want to beat combo decks sometimes, but you want to beat Altergeist sometimes, but you want to beat Branded sometimes.
Yeah, I imagine this is probably a siding pattern thing. Like, because it's 2 Meltdown, maybe these come out for the different Kantes, maybe the Alistairs come out for, like, the Evenlies.
There's only 2 evenly.
There's only 2 evenly.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Maybe it's like this 2, and this 3.
I guess
come
it's
out.
6 hand
The
traps.
2, 2.
No, it can't be 6 hand traps. I guess it's
No.
3 monstrosity, 2 noblemen, and a called by for the 6 board breakers.
Yeah. No, I can see that.
So, yeah, it's probably some siding thing, but cool deck and oh look, we're playing 2 tuning as well. Might cut that. It's going second. Yeah, okay.
Wow, if you thought that this page was pixely, just you wait to the one we uploaded to our own personal Instagram.
Oh, they might be Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I'm not certain.
Yeah, so Billy uploaded this picture after getting a really bad screenshot from Dylan. This is a Rescue Ace list, a very standard Rescue Ace list, what you see in front of you. This is obviously playing the free, I say obviously, it's playing the free emergency, and it is playing the Turbulence, if I can find it. Which one is it? This one?
Yeah.
Is Turbulent? No, not Turbulence.
No, Turbulence is the one below.
Turbulence is the one below. The one we literally just talked about in
Preventer? Is it called Preventer?
Preventer. I think this is Preventer.
Yeah, only one, but I guess everything's super searchable.
Yeah. And we see we've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just a bunch of Rescue Ace cards, and then it was like, oh, no, we've got non-engine, pretty standard. Looks like a really nice list.
It looks clean. It looks pretty standard. It does the stuff that it needs to do. I do remember seeing in the group chat a debate between Book of Moon and Forbidden Lance. And I said Book of Moon was way better because it is also good going second. So I'm glad to see he took my advice. Yeah, I mean, this looks... I don't know what you changed. It looks clean.
Not too happy about Shifter being in here, to be honest. I'm sick of playing against Shifter, especially in decks I don't expect Shifter to be in.
Well, I'm a flu player, so I love it. Extra deck is cool. Looks like it kills people. Underworld Goddess is funny. Yeah, it looks clean. Dylan definitely net decked this, but...
Oh, 100%. There's no way he put this whole list together by himself.
No, definitely not.
There's not a chance in hell.
But yeah,
do you have time to quickly go through the World's ban list?
Yeah, is there anything interesting in it?
Absolutely not. So it's like a 5-page document. We have all of these cards banned, which are like, how did Die get here? Which is just like not a real card. Then you have all the cards banned that didn't come out before June 24th for some reason.
Are these all like TCG exclusives, like the Gate Guardian stuff, Gory Chain? Oddish Rebellion, Exceed, what? Oh, that's the new one, not the old one.
Yeah.
Gold
like all the gold prides aren't legal.
Okay, so how does it hit meta decks? Like, what can we play Kashtira wise?
Ooh, Kashtira. So Fenrir is banned.
Right, so we're not playing Kashtira.
Nope, we're not playing Kashtira. As you'd expect, like pretty much. Maxi's banned, which is
that's
good.
Yeah, the OCG players are going to cry about that, but
probably. Every Cannon Soldier's banned, as we said earlier.
But then we can't play Rescue Ace, right? Because it's too new. Because Emergency's not out yet in the... Wait, scroll up, what's the date?
OCG got it first, June 26th. June 24th. So yeah, no, we don't have...
Don't have anything in June. Can't play Kashtira. What else is meta? Flew Under Ease is gutted in the OCG, I know that much. Kit Colossus banned, obviously.
Toad's banned.
Yeah, so not...
Sprite Blue, Sprite Jet are both at 1.
Sprite Elf is at 1 too. Oh no, that's banned, sorry.
Right?
We're still in banned. Well, there's a lot of banned cards.
Yeah. A lot of banned cards. Unicarib, Brilliant Fusion's still banned, apparently.
So we can't do any of these. So we're not playing Sprite, we're not playing Kashtira. Not playing Tearlament, probably.
I mean, the OCG still plays Tearlament somehow. Guido's still at 1.
Mathmech's at 1. Bestials are all limited.
Yeah, they're all limited.
Even Bubble Drake, wow, okay. I mean...
Unicorn at 1.
Oh, Unicorn at 1, okay, so that... Definitely not playing Kashtira. Circular at 1.
At 1.
Is Jess just going to win Worlds with Rika? Because everything else is hit.
We haven't seen a Rika card yet.
I don't think Rika's hit in either list, so...
Maps at 1.
I'm pretty sure Jess is just going to win Worlds.
Last change 2.
Oh, Prospector 1. That's relevant.
Primal Seed is still limited in the OCG, ladies and gentlemen.
So you can't loop it.
Yeah. Fountains at 1.
Fractals at 2. Can't even play Tri Brigade.
Yeah.
Right, your Amorous here at 2. Light Stage is still at 2.
Well, we actually missed one. Light Stage is at 2. Where's true? Reincarnation is still at 1.
Okay, so we're not even playing that.
It's 2023.
Is the Naturia Sacred Trees at 1? Is the only deck not hit? Oh wait, where's the Runic cards? Oh, Runic Fountains at 1.
Yeah. I didn't see any other Runic cards on the list. I think it is literally just Runic Fountain. Everything else is at 3.
That'll do.
I want to say
that'll do the job though.
Yeah, literally. Like.
So.
It'd be really interesting to see what people play for this format.
Well, no one takes Worlds seriously because it's such a weird format. So Jess will bring Rika and win. Oliver Newton, the other UK reps, probably bring an ABC. And then I don't know what the OSG players are going to play because everything they've played for the last year is gutted.
Yeah, literally. So it'll be interesting to see who takes Worlds. And of course, Worlds is this weekend, and shockingly enough, none of the Aegis members will be representing at the World Championships. Unless you're going, Sal. Do you go?
I'm not going to Worlds, no.
Okay, that's fair. Cool. Well, that's going to be it for this week's episode. We'll go over Legendary Duelist next week, because we didn't expect this episode to go for an hour already. It's quite late, so we'll go over Legendary Duelist next week and whatever new news comes out between then and now. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.